extra in here tonight. Okay. Fire away.
You must feel very proud of your side you're in it for a majority of the game.
I mean, yeah, look, the thing that's, I think the most important thing for us is that we were true to ourselves and we tried to approach the game by playing our own way. I think obviously quality shone through in the end, and I think for 70 minutes it was pretty tight. To concede a goal so early, but still be a threat in the game was credit to how we approached it. So yeah, it's still disappointing. You know, the players are disappointed about the result and the scoreline, but I don't think we disgraced ourselves tonight. I think we gave them a good game, and they knew they were in a tough game too.
Does that emphasise the character you got in the team, and the fact that you conceded early and had chances to equalise?
Well, I think it shows you how far we've come, in the sense that it's been, you know, we do have at least an identity now which is clear. And that is, we try and play it at a good tempo. I didn't want us to sit off them and give them easy possession. And we're at our best when we try and put teams under pressure. So it doesn't mean that we had masses of possession ourselves, but I thought we held our own for long periods of the game. It's just that, as I said before the game, when you play against sides who have the amount of quality that they do, when you have opportunities, you've got to be able to take them. And you know, our half chances or our opportunities came relatively early in the first half, and we were unable to take them. Obviously, Sam Bell had a chance in the second half, and at 1-0, look, that's the margins when you come up against the best sides become, or rather opportunities. Sorry, when you come up against the best sides, you know, it becomes more important to be able to take them. And but I'm proud of how the players approach the game. I'm really pleased that they're disappointed too. That's something that tells you where they are as well. You know, for somebody like myself to be not consoling them, but trying to look for positives for them and their faces in the dressing room. You know, they're genuinely disappointed tonight, and I think that tells you where we are compared to where we were maybe a year ago.
Do you think we might have had a penalty in the first half?
Well, again, as I joked with the fourth official and the assistant, you know, they are a protected species, Premier League players. But I don't mean that. I'm being facetious. We went hundreds of days without a penalty and had 2 in a week, so we can't get too greedy. On another day, maybe we get it, but I've seen it back. It sometimes they're given, sometimes they're not. It doesn't matter now. It's an event during the game that didn't go our way. We had other opportunities too. And I just think we've given a good account of ourselves tonight. It's disappointing that the scoreline is what it is, because I think the game was a bit tighter than that for the majority of it. But you've got to give credit to them. That, you know, the quality in the end comes through, and they were clinical when they had to be.
You had a long, involved conversation at the end with Pep Guardiola. More than just a cursory handshake. Can you tell us what was said?
Not really, no, because he was just very complimentary of the game, and yeah, I mean, I've never met him before. He's one of the elite managers in the world. Really, good to meet him and to hear his views on the game. You know, and I think for him to compliment our team is something which I think our players should be proud of.
Do you think this experience can help you, Nigel, going forward?
Help?
Help your league campaign?
Well, look, I mean, we didn't want to. We've worked really hard to go 12 unbeaten, and we didn't really want to lose tonight. If you're going to lose, or when you lose, it's important to play and be flat out. And I think we've been true to ourselves tonight. What we have to do now is make sure that, you know, we've got a local derby now at the weekend, which is a really important game for us, and we have to, as much as anything, take the positives from a game like tonight, where we've played against, you know, a top side. Yeah, they've made changes, but the changes that they made, they've still got a really strong starting 11. We need to make sure that we don't compromise our standards in any game here on in. We've worked really hard since the turn of the year because we were under pressure to find results, and people were asking questions of us as a side, and obviously me as the manager, and that's something which is, I think collectively we've had a positive response to. We need to see how good we can be between now and the end of the season. There is potential for us to push for a playoff position, but again, you can't blow hot and cold, and the Championship is relentless in terms of there is no, you know, the threshold for success is, or rather the lack of a wide margin of error. It's just not there. You've got to be able to perform week in, week out. We've been doing that pretty well recently. We can't let a defeat like tonight impact that, and so our aim for the rest of the season now is to finish as strongly as we can. Whether we can get into the playoffs is another thing. We've put some distance between us and the bottom sides, but everybody knows how difficult the Championship is.
We just asked you opinion on Thomas Callis's performance out there today.
Well, do you know something? I think the thing about Thomas is, and when you see him up against players of the calibre he played against tonight, he's a really good destructive player. And Thomas, I mean, look, I said to him before the game, well, you know, you've been broken in now, you've played 70 minutes and won 90 minutes, and there you go, you're playing against Man City tonight. He just takes it in his stride. He's able to deal with that sort of situation. I thought he showed his experience and his ability to be a little bit flexible as well tonight. In the first half in particular, I don't know whether you noticed when he was following De Bruyne in quite a long way, and you know, we were going for man at the back. And I thought our players were really brave in that regard in terms of dealing with their rotation and how fluid they can be. Look, Thomas, I think, was really good tonight, and so, you know, here on in, I hope he can replicate those types of performances, because when you've been out for as long as he has and played and gone on as a sub in an away game at Sunderland, which was a tough game to go on, and we got a point there, and then he played his first 90 minutes at the weekend, and then to play against Man City. You know, I was asked in the press conference prior to this game about him, and it was always going to be important that he uses his experience, and I think he's been able to do that really well. So, yeah, good for him. I thought he was good tonight. I thought he dealt with the occasion well, and he's a good defender. So I'm really pleased that he's available, and I'm really pleased that he's up for the challenge too.
Nigel, I'm going to ask you about Alex Scott, 'cause I've played from Guernsey for the occasion.
Have you?
One thing that
All right, good.
characterises his development...
Got a visa?
Say again?
Have you got your visa?
Yeah, made it in. But he sort of thrived every new challenge that has been put in ahead of him
Yeah.
at the age of 14, 15, 16. He's thrived, thrived through it. Obviously this was another level for him tonight. How do you think he fared?
I think he managed to be visible again, and that is the mark of a very good player. So whatever level you play at, he's still able to do what he's in there to do. He's a very creative player, he's a very intelligent player too, and I'm sure he would have caught the eye again tonight. So for somebody who's 19, and I think you'll know his background in terms of playing men's football in Guernsey, for instance, and then coming over here and basically having a fast track through our academy into the first team. It's quite an impressive story, but I think it's testament to his ability to be able to deal with the demands of men's football, senior football. He's great football intelligence and great ability. So for him to be able to perform at the level he did tonight is, again, another measure of the type of talent that we have.
Can I show us the technical points on
Yeah.
your penalty shot? If that had been at City, there would have been VAR. Is there an inconsistency in this?
Well, I mean, look, obviously yes is the easy answer to that, but I don't make the rules for these competitions. It's thanks for your message today as well. It's a look, and whether it goes to VAR, who knows what would happen if it did go to VAR. That's a bit of a question mark as well. I think what needs to happen throughout competitions, it needs to be consistent throughout competitions, I think, is the answer to, if you're going to have technology, it has to be available throughout the whole competition. Yeah. Any more? Super. I'll see you.